Nod Krai is coming next week, Tuesday. Hi there, I'm Elise. I play silly little teams, and I've been preparing my account for Nod Krai. So I currently have an EFA, and I'm going to be pulling the following things. I will be getting a Sino with my guarantee of the Chronicled. Then I'll be getting C0 Lama. And then I'll be getting C1 Nilu of the Chronicled, if the wishes still allow. It should be mathematically possible because after losing all my 50/50s for C2 Chaska, I have a guaranteed capturing Radiance. But yeah, so I'll be going for this. I was going to go for C1 Lama, but it turns out I have enough healers that I don't see myself ever playing her without a healer. However, I have to figure out what kind of teams I'm going to play, how I'm going to prepare for the region. So at the moment there's a leyline overflow, so I've been collecting heroes wits. I need a lot more. I need about 800 to level all the new characters I'm getting, because I will be using Aino, I will be using Lauma, I will be using Sino. I do have Nilu, and I will be getting her to C2 with the free constellations, and my Nilu is level 90. She's 71,000 HP without Hydro Resonant. Girlie's eating well. My Kia is level 90. All her artifacts are leveled. But yeah, so all the other characters still need preparation. So I want my Inefa to be level 90, because I'll be using her a lot. I've been doing a series called Inefa Versus, where I test all her teams that I have on my account versus the Papilla. The Pipple-Pan Idol, I cannot pronounce this. And yeah, so she's currently in a deathmatch because Sino is going to be on the Ballad of the Fjords. I was hoping to get a billet to get her the craftable because I think it'll be good for her. But I didn't get a polearm billet. I got all the other billets but not a polearm. I've got her on Gilded Dreams and I still have to finish leveling her artifacts. This crit damage circlet, I would prefer for this to be EM. So I will just be leveling both of them and see how her build improves. I also have to level her attack stance. Inefa's build has gone through a lot of changes. But yeah, she's currently at 64 over 94. That's obviously unacceptable. But we'll be fixing that by just leveling the artifacts. It'll be fine. And she's got 2,142 attack and 246 EM. That EM stat is a little low for me. I would prefer to have her at 400 because this Lunar Charge damage bonus. I like to have my Lunar Charge, my elemental damage bonus be the same as my crit damage. But it'll take better artifacts, and I am pretty much done farming Gilded because other artifacts need farming, but her talents are prepared for Nod Krai. Then my Nilu, her talents, I will still level them a little bit, but it's very low down the list. And with her artifacts, I do need a goblet on either Vorokasha or Tenacity to have a little more flexibility with her artifacts, because at the moment she's got a pretty bad flower, comparably, and an absolutely horrendous circlet. I will be leveling Dea's circlet to see if that improves the Nilo build, because obviously this one has HP, so it'll probably be better. So I'm not one to Akasha min-max. I don't particularly like it, because I prefer building talent damage. But this Nilo is top 4%, and I want to get her to top 1% during the Nilo meta time. It's just a personal goal, but the main thing is I want to have her at 75k HP and 200 EM and 160 ER. So that is the goal for my Nilo, to have her on these stats. And then for Inefa, the goal is 2000 attack, 400 EM, and like a 60 over 150 kind of crit ratio. I don't much care about her crit ratio. I would like the crit rate to be at 80 actually, not 60, just for the Lunar Charge damage. But it's okay if it doesn't reach there. But this EM stat, I want that at 400, and I want the attack to stay at 2000. Then in Nod Krai we are using Mizuki and Chaska every once in a while, but they're going to stay at their current builds. My Chaska is at 2.3k attack, horrible crit ratio, but She's C2, so she cleared Abyss. It's fine. Her artifacts are almost leveled, but I won't be putting more Mors into that. My Mizuki is level 80, but besides that, she's pretty much finished. She's at 1000 EM. Her weapon's level 90. Her artifacts are fully leveled. She's C1. Her talents are at 888. Like, I'll level 90 her in the future, but there are more pressing matters. So I will be playing Lauma. And I will be playing Lauma with Kokomi, Nielu, Nahida, and then I'll try a couple of like Mimi teams. Like, I want to play Mualani Virgin, and I want to play Yoimiya Virgin. So if we search for my Yoimiya, here she is. And for Virgin, you actually need your Pyro character to be on Crimson Witch. So I farmed a Crimson Witch set for Nod Krai. It's currently on Gaming, so I still have to level these pieces. But Gaming is holding my Crimson Witch set for Virgin teams. Because when you're playing Virgin, you get a 40% damage bonus if anyone on your team holds Crimson Witch. So I just have to give it to someone, and I prefer giving it to Pyro character because I don't like wasting the 2-piece stats. So I'll be playing Yoimiya with Yoimiya, Lauma, and then either Tomar or Baiju, and then just Kokomi. And for Mualani, because Mualani always needs double Hydro for the HP bonus, because double Hydro, the HP bonus just does so much for her. I do have to finish leveling her artifacts, they're trash. So her HP is really low. But yeah, we don't talk about this. But she is on her signature, which helps a lot. And what we're going to do with Mualani is we're going to keep her on Obsidian. But for the Mualani team, I'll be using Toma, who will just get some noblesse with him. I'll level these, it's okay, it doesn't really matter, it just has to be HP pieces. I can see if I have a better off-piece HP set, but probably not. A lot of the artifacts that you see lying around are not off-pieces, but rather pieces of alternate builds. Like, I can use them as off-pieces, but then I have to get them back. He's on a Dragon's Bane that would need leveling. But the Virgin team is more of a Mimi silly little team. So what I did with my artifacts is I thought about a couple of sets that I need to prepare for Nod Krai. So we're gonna just look at them one by one. So the first thing is I'm gonna have Lauma on Deepwood. The reason for that is because that gives me, because Lauma is gonna be the constant on the team, so that gives me the flexibility to have another character on a more flexible set. So I've got this flower for her and this feather. There are technically Baiju's artifacts, but it's fine. Yeah, all of these are Baiju's artifacts. I have this horrible EM goblet, but it is on set. And then for the circlet, because Nahida has the Deepwood circlet, I have to farm the new artifacts. I actually will be spending all of my fragile resin on farming the new sets because I want to get some really good artifacts for Aino, and I'm gonna have Aino on the Nod Krai support set and Lauma on Deepwood, and then I'll just save whatever is even remotely decent on both sets, because I noticed during not long that I was strongboxing away far too many obsidian pieces, which then bricked my Mualani. Like, if I look at Scroll and Obsidian, I don't have nearly enough pieces. Like, Ororon and Janssens share their artifacts, Mualani's pieces are trash, and this is a direct result of me strongboxing away a lot of artifacts. So I just have to fix this at some point, but not now. I won't be pulling Flynn's, so while Flynn's banner is up, I'll actually have some time to like go back to some old builds to fix them. But yeah, speaking of builds, for Inefa and Sino, I'm gonna have one of them on Gilded Dreams and one of them on Thundering Fury, and I will kind of try both. And that is why I have all of these pieces. So I have this extra feather. Kaching is holding some pieces. I will be switching freely between Kaching and Sino, depending on what works better. Like, this is a Feather with crit rate with 14.9 ER and 73 EM and attack, so it has no wasted rolls. This is actually perfect in FFBs. But this is a double crit feather with 40 EM. So it kind of, it's a matter of trial and error. Then I have this EM Sands on Thundering Fury, and I have this attack Sands that I'm currently parking on Kaching. Essentially what I will be doing is I'll be leveling all the artifacts on Kaching and then switching them between Inefa and Sino. So I've got this goblet with 65 EM, and this one has ER, so I will actually, it's currently on Yansan as an off piece, but I will actually be leveling it and I might be switching it around. And regarding my Gilded and my TF, I was farming a lot of Gilded and I ended up with all of these 0 pieces. So a lot of them are really good for Candace and Kuki Shinobu. Like, this is a perfect feather for Kuki, but so is this. And this is really good for Candace, but so is this. So I got a lot of HP pieces. I'll be getting to the goblet. So this goblet I actually crafted. It's currently on Kirara. No, it's this one. So I got 2 HP 1 EM goblet that I crafted for Kuki Shinobu, and it was meant for Fremine. But it ended up rolling into ER and HP, so I put it on Kuki. And I've got this HP goblet. And then obviously I got an attack sounds for an Effa. And I got this feather. Again, a Candace piece. I do have 1 EM circlet on Gilded, but it doesn't have double crit, so I can't use it on an Effa. So I just have to hope that this one rolls into EM and attack percent as I continue rolling it. Then I've got these EM Sands. I've got this ER Sands, which is actually for Sidlali. I got it when I was farming Gilded for Sidlali to play her with a non-Natlan DPS, and this is perfect for her, so it'll be staying on her. Then we've got this crit damage piece for Sino, this feather for Sino. The Thundering Fury pieces, except the flowers, are nothing to talk home about, but I have 1 crit rate piece and 1 crit damage piece that I can swap around between Sino and Kaching. And then I've got this attack goblet. I've got, as I mentioned, these pieces. I've got this feather on Inefa, mainly because I haven't leveled the other feathers yet. I will probably level the feathers on Alhaitham and Fremine, just to see if I can get an upgrade to Inefa with those. The same with the flowers. I will be leveling the flower on Fremine, because all the Fremine pieces are technically interchangeable with Inefa, because he kind of needs the same stats. He needs EM, attack, crit rate, crit damage in that order. And then we've got this on Alhaitham. I kind of always look between Inefa and Alhaitham, who gets the pieces. I do plan on playing Alhaitham a little more when Nefer releases, because I will be skipping her. So I will be building up him when Nefer releases. Then regarding weapons, I'm actually going to do a couple of things that aren't as obvious. So I have this Fruit of Fulfillment, and I've been wanting to use it for the longest time. And I will be using it on Baiju. Because Baiju, I can use him in my Sino team to play Sino Hyperbloom. And I can use him with Lauma if I want to play Aino in the teams for like an on-field Aino. So I'll be keeping him on a Fruit of Fulfillment. And then give Lauma the event weapon, because I won't be pulling on the weapon banner. The next time I'll be pulling on the weapon banner is when Varessa's weapon reruns, because I want to set aside this Lost Prayer for Klee. There are a couple of characters I'm planning on pulling, namely Ganyu, Tartaglia, and Klee when they rerun. And off the Nod Krai preview, I'm interested in pulling Durin, potentially Yehoda, and potentially Nicole. I was gonna, like, for sure pull Yehoda, but then they gave her, like, an Anima or Cryovision, and I'm not really interested in playing another Anima or Cryo character. But yeah, so this is the state of the weapons. I haven't decided yet who I'm gonna play as a healer on my Sino team. I did ask in Sir Jeff's Discord, because the people are always really helpful. Shout out to his Discord here. But I'm not quite sure yet. And the other thing I did is I farmed emblem, so I now have an emblem set that I can swap. I have an attack emblem set. It isn't leveled, none of my emblem pieces are, but I have an attack emblem set that I can put on Mona when necessary to play Luna Charged. And then regarding the blooms, I am considering leveling Siegween for my Inefa, like leveling I love Siegween anyways, and I want to build her properly at some point, but I have this Songs of Days Past set that I usually play on Chevreuse that could be played on Siegween in Inefa teams, because if you look at her talents, so this one, no, it's not this one, it's this one, Elemental Skill Damage. It adds 2,600 to the base damage before crits. So yeah, that is really good. You need 60,000 HP on Siegween, but I've got her at level 70 with unleveled artifacts and level 60 weapon, and she's already at 30k, so I think if I just level her weapon and level her, I'll get to the 65k. Then the big question, Nahida. I'm actually going to be using my Nahida. I really like Nahida. Wandering Evenstar has a really nice passive, like Nilu's EM goes up to 800 with Nahida on the team. And like you saw, she's at only 133 EM, it goes up to 800. And I this brings me to another artifact that I have. So I like having one Flowers of Paradise or Lost user on my Bloom teams. So I have this set that is shared between Nahida and Kave. Because I will actually be playing Kave with Lauma, but I have to just switch around pretty much. I was gonna have like one artifact set per character per build, and that is still a goal for the future. But for now, the actual goal is to have one artifact set per archetype. Like I want an HP set on Deepwood, for example, for Yaoyao and Baiju, and whoever holds it is holding it. Speaking of Yaoyao and Baiju, if we look at Baiju, I've been gearing Kokomi and Baiju for Nod Krai, and the way I've been doing this is I've been giving them EM builds. I was farming so much clam, and I got 3 HP goblets and no EM one. So they're pretty much on off pieces for the sands, and then on HP goblet. So it's kind of hybrid builds between HP and EM. It's just looking for EM on the clam pieces, which is also good because I have Escoffier on a healer clam build, and she doesn't need EM at all. So I just put the EM pieces on Baiju and Kokomi, and it's all good. And like this, I am planning on having kind of essentially I want to have 4 clam builds in the future. And I have 2 attack builds, 2 HP builds, and then I can move them around between my characters. I'm approaching artifacts a lot more systematically in what I'm keeping, and one thing I'm actually doing is I'm not leveling any artifacts that are potential pieces without waste. So the way I organize my artifacts is I star everything that has no wasted substats for the set. So for example, this is a flower on Petra that has ER, EM, attack and death. Technically, this would be a perfect piece for Gilonen. It would be better if it had crit over attack or like flat death, but it's still really good, and it's a piece that I can move between Gilonen and Ningguang without any problems. And that is really good for a Geo character, so it gets a little star. And then I have these pieces, these 3 liners, that don't have a wasted stat yet. And that is important, it says yet. So I'm leaving all of them at level 0 until Nod Krai, because then we're gonna see the remaining stat. And then I will unlock and unstar and fodder away any pieces that don't have a useful 4 stat out of these, because these are all 3 liners. So these 2 are actually Siegween's DPS pieces, so I have to remember to level them so they don't accidentally get foddered to the strongbox. But all the start ones are pieces with potential that I would be leveling in the future. This goblet I will actually level all the way, because if it rolls over 700 HP, it rolls like 40 EM, and the 4th stat is ER, it will improve my crazy goblet on Nilu. So I have a goblet on Nilu that has a stupid roll value. It's this one. It's got crit rate, crit damage, 63 EM, and 13 ER. So the other goblet has to beat this. It has to beat 63 EM, it has to roll into ER, and it has to have any rolls into HP. And then it's going to beat this goblet, and it's going to improve my Nil. So yeah, these are the plans. This is what's going to happen. Stay tuned for next week, where I'll be streaming my polls and essentially jumping between the banners. I was initially going to go for C3 Nilo and for C1 C1 Llama, but I don't really need the healing, and C3 on Nilo actually levels her burst. So I want to crown her talents before I go for C3, so I'll be doing that on the next Chronicles, which means I can get only one Nilo and then use the Stella Fortuna event to get my C2 Nilo and to get my rest red. And then I can save my pulls for Durin, Yahoda, and Varessa's weapon. So yeah, but I'm really looking forward to Nod Krai. I love the inspiration, I love the art style, especially on an FO. And you can watch my polls next week after Journal Club.